Equanimity is the state of being emotionally equal and balanced, especially when faced with change and adversity. Mindfulness and equanimity are the anchors for the storms of life. The simile says, "As the great earth does not react whatever is thrown upon it." This includes pleasant things too. This ability prevents us from overreacting to circumstances. So success doesn't lead to fanaticism or pride, and failure doesn't plunge us into despair and so on. In good health or bad, whether praised or blamed, we don't allow ourselves to become affected by external conditions. This is the key. Buddhism teaches a couple different levels of equanimity. The first level is known as Upekkhā, which is mundane equanimity. This is where we start in our practice. It's somewhere along the lines of indifference. We have to get used to shrugging off inconveniences and restraining fanaticism or excitement when pleasant things arise. Upekkhā is neither disappointed nor excited, but also neither callous nor apathetic. In other words, it's not a dead, emotionless state of mind. We must master, however, mundane equanimity in order to become able to reach its perfected form in the fourth jhana, which is sometimes referred to as samadhi, depending on which tradition you're following, like in Hindu terms. This is a supernatural human emotion. I believe the Buddhist term actually would be dhyana in the Buddhist tradition. It's confusing because in Hinduism, dhyana is concentration jhana, and then the final one is samadhi. So in Buddhism, the final samadhi is actually dhyana, the fourth jhana. So this is a supernormal human emotion and a state of consciousness that can eventually be experienced with some years of consistent practice and sexual transmutation, which is necessary. When it's mastered, one can enter this state of mind at will. And when one becomes enlightened, this level of samadhi becomes their natural, ongoing state of unconditioned consciousness. I'll just use the words dhyana because I tend to focus on Buddhism. It's important to realize that we need equanimity even for the positive and exciting things that happen to us. It's just as bad to lack equanimity when we get the things we want than it is when we don't. The more we fulfill strong desires, the more attached and enslaved we become in the end by them. The more excited and fanatical we get when we obtain or achieve something, the more impatient and demanding we become the next time we try to get it. We become jaded and want more. Or something different in the next time around. This only gets worse over time without virtues like equanimity and renunciation. Another example of lacking equanimity is when you obtain something great and you can't handle it. There are many famous people who in the past could not handle their fame and attention because of for various reasons. It could be their strong, inflated, and deflated feelings in particular toward themselves. Instead of remaining equanimous and taking themselves less seriously, they succumbed to their strong sense of self, their reputation, their concept of their self, and things like idealism, and developed very polarizing emotions like anxiety and self-pity because of it. Our judgment is at its best when we are emotionally stable and equanimous. The mind becomes at ease again, and this allows us to see the bigger picture easier. When we lose the short-sightedness of anger or desire, for instance, we can reflect on life better as a whole and eventually come to the realization that it's merely a brief series of experiences, both painful and pleasant, all of which are ultimately empty of inherent meaning and value. This wisdom is what we need to become equanimous and to stop caring about so many frivolous, insubstantial things in life. The expression of equanimity can range substantially. It may begin as a very basic, cold, detached, emotionless indifference, and then develop into a sense of joy and contentment, Upekkhā, and finally evolving into a supernormal serenity and loving kindness in the fourth jhana, or dhyana. Upekkhā is characterized as a cool, distant, rational, and objective state of consciousness that yet contains the wisdom of loving kindness and compassion. So it does not lose love and that wisdom. This is the essential state of mind we need when we face high stress and emergency situations, to remain emotionally unfazed. And it doesn't mean that we stop caring and do nothing about critical circumstances, because police officers and paramedics, doctors, surgeons, and nurses, similar kinds of people, all need to have this kind of emotion, this quality, this wisdom to take on emergency situations seriously without becoming panicked or losing compassion.